All right, well, I am Joanne Arsenal. I am the Director of Business Development for Crestron Electronics North America. If you're not familiar with Crestron, I know that I spoke to some of you earlier this morning. So Crestron is the only brand in the home automation space that that we do actually manufacture, engineer, and then support all the facets, the full spectrum of home automation, so that your lighting, your shades, your audio, and your video, your HVAC control. We do integrate with some of the other brands, but I'll show you some examples today of what we do within the Crestron biome. So looking here, we're looking at some typical work from home setups that we've actually created. These are your basic setups utilizing all of the different facets of Crestron. So starting from the left, you actually have a status indicator there. You can put a status indicator or a scheduling panel right into your home. A lot of people, they're just like, well, this is a little bit extra. That's a little bit outside of that. But is it extra when you're on a video conference call, you're pitching to your client and your kid walks in saying, hey, I just pooped my pants? You're like, well, not right now. That status indicator would be red at that time instead and tell your whole family, this is, do not disturb time. So this is a great option for the work from home personnel there. We have our shades. We've talked a lot about balancing your natural and your artificial lighting. We have different unified communications technologies that are actually consumer grade, and we actually adapted to the consumer. We started these adaptations prior to the pandemic, but obviously this ramped it up, and it's a great adaptation and piece that you can add into this space. Of course, we have our different lighting. We touched on different lighting sources. So we'll see all of that throughout this space. So now bringing that all together, circadian lighting, we didn't invent it, we're just mastering it, it's okay. So circadian lighting, yes, you have different intensities, different colors, different color temperatures that are going to affect you throughout the day. So by using tunable LEDs, we're able to really take advantage of that. And we'll talk about some of these preset scenes. So circadian lighting, we can go into the productivity factor. So a scene that might have productivity, I know for myself, when I have to get through a whole drawing set, productivity for me, the HVAC, it comes down. I need a really cool space to be able to work through. Audio, so this is going to come through all of my audio spaces. I might either be working through something like some System of a Down, something that's really going to just stimulate me and make me, just charge me up and get me through that. The lighting, it's going to change from the warmer hues regardless of what time it is during the day, and it's going to have a cooler temperature because as we were talking about, how Google utilized that, the cooler temperatures for your lighting, they actually do stimulate the senses, and it really does, as you're looking through that circadian curve, that cooler blue that happens in the middle of the day, that's when you're the most productive. That's when that stimulation happens there. So we're able to use that, utilizing all of those different subsystems that we have listed there. Now, when we go into the video conference mode, so now we're going into presentation. So now utilizing all of these different subsystems, video conferencing, that circadian lighting, skin tones, whether you've just come from Jamaica or from Boston, skin tones, they look better when you have the warmer tones from your tunable LEDs. So warmer tones will kick in from the video conferencing. When you activate your video conferencing preset there, your harsh downlights are going to shut off because nobody needs to be illuminated, through their forehead. That's really not the best presentation of yourself. The audio, you might have some noise cancellation, some white noise that's going to come through.
So you've pre-engineered these configurations, and so
and this is
it's easier, more of a turnkey installation for the integrator.
These are the technologies that we've had available to us, but using this in this application is something different. We have not had to think about these systems in this way. We've looked at a lot of the different applications for safety, for convenience, for simplicity, but using them for the work from home is something that is relatively new within this space.
Yeah, but you guys have a ton of workplace experience with the Crestron commercial side of the business.
Exactly.
Too, so you bring that home.
Yep, that's exactly where we started. So our technologies, we started in the unified communications and connectivity there. A lot of those CEOs, CTOs, and CIOs, which we're going to see in a moment, they wanted that same connectivity, that same convenience and simplicity translated into their home experience as well. So so taking all of these different subsystems, putting them onto one platform and being able to create these scenes, which are going to be, more effective and more efficient for you in your work from home environment, that's where we can really shine when we have that integrated technology. So we have the Fish residence here. This is a gentleman, he is a CEO of a tech company. Has enjoyed all of the technology within his workspace. Throughout his entire career, he's always had this available to him. Now he has to work from home. So we see here on the table, actually, let me just back this up. This is a tabletop conferencing system that is adapted from the conferencing space, and we adapted it to the residential space. It's a lot smaller form factor, but it has all the same functionality. There are 4 omnidirectional microphones within this space and also a speaker. So you have a complete tabletop space piece right there. You can also see on that touch panel, you can control your entire home, but more importantly, that office. So if you wanted to trigger any one of those scenes that we can pre-configure for you, then you would be able to do that right from there. You don't have to interrupt yourself, interrupt your flow to go to the wall and then trigger one of your presets because your video conference is about to start. So there you see it right there. So he wanted to, if you were on the meeting earlier today, this is a 5-story, there's 5 stories of living spaces within this space, and it's all Italian architecture. So they wanted to maintain that space and that aesthetic, but have that functionality of their video conferencing. So this was a great balance for them. They have the distributed video there, they have the audio as well, but then also that tabletop, which is really just very minimal within this space, and it does not detract from the aesthetics that he wanted. Here we have, a broader sense of his more private part of his office. So here, when he triggers his video conferencing preset here, those drapes are going to close. Well, it's really great to work with natural light. When you're on video conferencing, that might be a little bit more overwhelming. So that is going to shut down that chandelier. Again, we don't need downlighting. That chandelier is going to shut down, and then other sources of the light are going to kick in for that. So that's a great way that we used that work from home, that video conferencing preset within this space here. That's a zoomed out view of that table we saw earlier with that MM30R on the table. Again, you see that it really doesn't detract from the space, but he gets all of the functionality that he needs through that one tabletop device. And you'll see on your left there, again, very minimal, but that's his scheduling panel. So you'll be able to see if somebody were to walk up and that door is closed, if it's red, if you see that he has a meeting on there, you know that you should not be knocking on the door. If it can wait, it should wait. Otherwise, if it's free, you can go ahead and go right in and address whatever you need there.
Especially if you have poopy pants, don't.
Especially, that is exactly what prompted this. Yes. So that was a really great example of how we integrate the whole home automation within this space and bring all of those different subsystems together for that work from home experience.